Jet Airways cancelled at least 14 flights to various destinations on Sunday after some of its pilots reported sick over non-payment of their dues. The jet employees are protesting against non-payment of salaries, dues, and the indifferent attitude of the National Aviators Guild in taking up the issues with the management. According to news report, the loss-making Jet Airways has been defaulting on payment of salaries since August due to its severe cash crunch. Some pilots have also written to its chairman Naresh Goyal, saying that they are unwilling to work this way. However, the airline said in a statement that the flights were cancelled due to an unforeseen operational circumstances and not pilot non-cooperation. Jet Airways, which is one of the oldest private airlines in India, had earlier suffered losses for 3 consecutive quarters. Then its cumulative current liabilities that have climbed to $2.2 billion, and now this. The airline is struggling to pay its pilots. There were even difficulties for the company to pay its airport fees.
Jet Airways has been facing extremely turbulent weather. This airline, which actually at one point of time had the first mover advantage in India, has been consistently making losses. In the last 10 years, Jet Airways is said to have made profits only in 2 financial years. In other words, it's a story of chronic and acute losses. And that too, it has been making losses when at a time its competitors like Indigo have been making profits. Except in the recent quarters when, because of the oil price hike, almost every airline in the country has been incurring losses. But the history of losses of Jet Airways is at least 10 years old. The airline needs to bail itself out desperately. It has been trying to raise resources. It has sounded its promoter Naresh Goyal, who's trying his best, and that best measures that they are trying have included talks with the Tata Group to buy Jet Airways out. The Tata Group is said to have insisted on a complete control of the airline, which means minus Mr. Naresh Goyal on the board, and that has been a bone of contention, and it is said at the moment that the talks have been called off. And the talks have been called off, as I said, only because Tatas want a complete control of the airline. We don't know whether talks were called off also because during the preliminary due diligence, some things must have been found which would have alarmed the Tata Group. The Jet Airways company is back seeking support from Etihad. Etihad is a strategic partner of Jet Airways. It already owns a 24% stake in the company. It has been perhaps sounded to take up a higher stake in the company. We don't know how far those talks have proceeded, but all that we know at the moment is the company is defaulted on payment of its salaries again. In fact, that has been happening in the last few months consistently, right from March onwards. And the staff, the pilots are supposed to have gone on leave, taking that as the best negotiating measure to get their salaries on time from the airline. The primary reason that the airline has been making losses, despite it being a forerunner in this business in India, has been to do with its high operating costs, of which the key factor where it has high operating costs has been its marketing and business promotion costs, wherein they say that the charges are paid to a company owned by the promoters, and that is said to have been one of the key reasons why losses are incurred. Let's see whether Jet Airways gets bailed out. At the moment, its conversations with Tata Group have failed. Let's see whether Etihad is the white knight in shining armor that Jet Airways is looking out for.
The fragility of this sector are at times beyond the airline company's control. When the price of fuel goes up, Indian airlines make losses. When the rupee depreciates, Indian airlines make losses. And of course, the aviation worldwide is famously crisis-prone. Over the past 4 years, passengers' growth in India has been rapid, and the number of flights taken has increased between 15 to 20% per year. And the demand this year is likely to be the highest in the world. Yet, the industry itself hasn't benefited. And not only Jet, but almost every Indian airlines is struggling with it. For more news updates, log on to www.hwnews.in.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.